This one is from ESPN.com, ranking all 32 teams by talent under 25 years old. They go Texans 1, Lions 2, Ravens 3. They have the Browns 28th. Only the Eagles, Saints, Raiders, Dolphins behind them. There's a lot of youth that helped the Browns rank as one of the top NFL defensives last season. Greg Newsome 24, Martin Emerson 23, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah 24. The defense will also add second-round defensive tackle Mike Hall Jr., who's 21. Top young asset on offense, maybe a player who won't play much this year. Dwan Jones started 9 games at tackle, 23, and a healthy Jack Conklin will put Jones back on the bench. Well, we'll see about that. That's to be determined. It's kind of interesting that that seems a little bit low just based on the guys that they named who are under 25. But I guess it is a team that's kind of ascending age-wise.
Yeah, that's not exactly the kind of paragraph you expect to read on a team that's in the bottom echelon of the rankings of whatever kind of article you're doing. So I had read that earlier in the day, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, it kind of makes sense because of like the offensive line. I'm thinking about the offensive line. Yeah, Dwan Jones is young, but you talked about Jed getting older. Believe it or not, he's actually going into his 5th year, and you got veterans on the inside. But I think the wide receiver core is pretty young with Cedric Tillman and Jamari Thrash and David Bell. I'm pretty surprised that you would put the Browns down there, even with the offense not having quite as many younger players that you expect to be big pieces as what the defense does, because the defense is riddled with them, as you just kind of mentioned, and Mike Hall coming in at that age really helps on that side as well. And there's not as many of those guys on the offensive side of the ball. So I guess that kind of knocks them down. But you're talking about, to me, Martin Emerson's a top 15 corner in the NFL. Like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is a top 15 linebacker in the NFL. Like just right there, you're talking about guys that are towards the top half of their position group that are on the defense in 2 very key positions. And Grant Delpit, I think I can't remember how old Delpit might have been aged out in that situation, but you've got enough talent that I don't think 28 makes much sense based on how many key contributors are under 25 years old on one of the league's best defenses. I think that's important because they focused on the defense in that article. Well, focused on the fact that some of the biggest pieces that make the Browns defense so good are these young guys, and it's one of the best defenses. You kind of would think, I don't know, not in the 20s. I'd put them somewhere in the teens, probably.
Yeah, and 25, with NIL and the like, things are going to start getting, players are going to start getting older. They're going to stay in college longer because they can make some money, without question.